Okay, so today I want to talk about the collapsed feminine. This is interesting. So usually the masculine is holding the container, right? And then the feminine is doing whatever inside that container. The feminine can be collapsed too. And what does this mean? I'll tell you a story. So I know a couple, and the woman is highly in her masculine. She kind of doesn't trust her husband to do a lot of things. And he acts like a baby. So they have a baby. They have a baby, and the baby is at an age where the baby will poop on the floor because they're trying to potty train him. And the husband will go up to the wife going like, "Oh, he pooped on the floor again." As if she's the only one who knows how to clean up the poop and he's not capable of it, right? So this is their relationship. He's in his feminine, she's in his masculine, or she's in her masculine, and that's already not a good idea. But then she'll handle it because she handles it by having a masculinized feminine. So her feminine wants to be able to surrender, wants him to take control, wants him to handle things more often. But since she doesn't trust him and he doesn't do it, she has to do it. But she doesn't do it from her masculine. She does it from her feminine. So her feminine has become masculinized. It's very similar to the water in the pool container, the water feeling like the pool container can't hold her. So the water going, and like seizing up and becoming like an ice cube. So a lot of women have masculinized feminines. This is pretty much how they get through life in the Western world. This is how they succeed in their careers. And it's like all over the place. So what happens in this kind of relationship where the masculinized feminine takes it and takes it and takes it and just reaches her breaking point and can't take it anymore? Well, in this case, this woman would be verbally abusive to her husband, like da 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 da. You can imagine. And this is really interesting to me because I kind of feel like the woman will always do this to the man, but there's a difference between love and not love. So, I mean, like, I'm kind of going all over the place with this. I don't care. So like, let's say there is a man in his masculine and a woman in her feminine. So let's just say that's not disordered. It's in order. It's good, you can say. So there's a woman in her feminine, a man in her masculine, and she's just dramatic and chaotic because that's what the feminine is. She's testing him like, no, 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 right? It sounds the same, but it's different because what she's saying, it comes from love. What she's saying, it's because he's not being at his best. So it's kind of like if the water is in the container and the container is leaking a little bit and she notices because she's starting to lose herself and lose energy, she goes, no, 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 no. And he goes, oh, sorry. And then, back together again. And he's happy and she's happy. So that kind of thing, I think, is like totally allowed and will always happen as long as the masculine is not remaining present. When he loses consciousness, his woman's going to do that. So it's on the man. Not on her. Not on her. It's on the man. She's supposed to do that if he's not being present, if he's not being conscious. So let's go to a disordered relationship. The disordered relationship where the man is in his feminine and the woman is in her masculine. So there's this like faulty container and the water inside is like seized up into an ice cube and she has to do a lot of the tasks that he's supposed to do. She's going to hit some sort of breaking point. There's some kind of limit to anyone in this kind of position. And, you could be a man who's burnt out at work. That's probably you doing this. Yeah, it's your feminine. It's your feminine that got seized up into an ice cube and then got burnt out at work. It's a lot of people who throw themselves into like never-ending tasks, like saving all the animals, saving the rainforest, doing something about all the plastic. Like these kinds of people, I'm going to help all the indigenous people in this region, especially the ones who have been like violated. Like those are the ones I'm going to go for. Well, these people, these savior types, right? Like, and they get really angry about the way the world is. And they permanently feel like a victim in some kind of way. Therefore, when you're a victim, you get to be the crusader, right? You don't get to be a crusader without being a victim first. These kinds of people are burning up their feminines. It's their feminine energy that's become masculinized. Okay, so back to the couple. What's going on with this couple? So she's going, no, 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 right? But it's without love. It's without love, it's abuse. So there's a big difference. When a woman is already in her feminine and her masculine counterpart loses consciousness, she's allowed to yell at him because it's with love and it's only to bring him back. And he wants her to keep him on track. He wants to be conscious, you know, he wants her help in helping him be him. But when there's already a disordered relationship where the woman is in her feminine or the woman is in her masculine and the man is in his feminine, it's already broken and it's already starting off in a bad place. So any kind of na is abuse, usually. So what ends up happening is in this particular couple, this woman just like hit her limit and just started yelling at her husband and say really bad things that really hurt the relationship. And she kind of felt like she was entitled to it. She felt like she was entitled to it because, well, I put up with all of his shit all, you know, all the way up until this point. So I'm allowed to tell him everything I'm upset about, you know, like he should be able to handle it. He should be able to take it. I take everything else, you know. So she wants to just reverse the roles that she had been feeling this whole time. This whole time, she felt like she was over-serving. She was burnt out. She was the martyr, and he was the parasite. He was entitled, he was lazy. This is an out of consent dynamic. One is masculine and one is feminine, right? So she was in her masculine, he was in his feminine. That's why he was lazy. Then she wants to become the parasite. She wants to be lazy. She wants to go, nah, 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 and be the one who's all judgmental, you know, and say, you're doing this and this and this and this and this wrong without love. She's saying it without love. And that's the key factor here. So now she's the parasite. Now she's actively taking his energy. Now she's judging him, you know, to not be behaving correctly. Usually it's the person who's serving to their entitled parasite, right? Who gets judged to be not serving correctly. Does this make sense so far? So she was in her masculine, she flips it. Now she's in her feminine, but she's like completely collapsed, very abusive, and being entitled and thinking he should be able to take it. He should serve me this, right? So this is what this looks like. This is a woman. This is a man. This is her yin. That's his yang. And in any yin, there's a little bit of masculine, right? There's like a little bit. And in any yang, there's a little bit of feminine. So in this relationship with this man, not only was her yin turning into white rather than remaining black, the other thing was when she was yelling at him, this white part, this yang that she has access to, was itself collapsed. So that little bit of yang inside of her yin, that yang that's supposed to hold her feminine, was itself collapsed. That's why she was all feminine at him, but in the wrong way. So he loses trust in her because that white aspect is the masculine aspect that's supposed to keep her in check. So I was looking at the situation and I'm like, you can't do that. You're just not allowed to do that. Like, you can't do that. Like, it's not allowed because you're hurting the relationship. You're completely collapsed and entitled, and you're thinking he should be able to take it. Where did you get that idea? You know, where did you get that idea that abuse was okay? You know, and for her, she had been feeling abused this whole time. That's the thing. The thing was, she had been feeling abused this whole time, but her ego didn't really want to admit it, you know? Anyway, so this is an example of a collapsed feminine where there's a little bit of that yang, a little bit of that white inside of the yin. That needs to be pitch perfect. That needs to be pitch perfect. Like, this guy should be able to rely on the masculine within his woman. And if that's true, she can just yell at him all she wants for everything. We're losing consciousness left and right. And she's probably right. So that's fine. But if either all of this has become white for her, so the ice cube thing, and or that white thing just disappears altogether, then she's not trustworthy. And that's a collapsed feminine. The collapsed feminine is being mega feminine without any kind of yang. Or the collapsed feminine is not being feminine at all and is become masculinized. And this is also really problematic. So I wanted to share that today. Thank you for listening. Yes, I give sessions. Talk to you next time. Bye.